May 29th. This is the first cutting of grass. This I mowed yesterday. It's nice and starting to dry out nice. It's such a wonderful aroma. Clover and grasses. We seeded this hill 30 years ago in 1978, and ever since it's just been making hay, growing grass and making hay for us. And each year it seems to get better. It's a good thing about organic farming. If you do it right, the earth just keeps improving and the crops improve. And this is a real good harvest this year. We've had some nice rain, a lot of sun. It's been cool. The old farmers would say that a cool, wet May means a barn full of hay, because it grows real well in this condition. This is something I just mowed today. You notice it's really green and lush. It's a lot of clover. A lot of clover this year. It's that comes from putting manure on the field. It seems to really stimulate the clover growth, and cows really love clover, and the soil loves clover too. And it adds a lot of, being a legume, it adds a lot of nitrogen to the soil, helps the grass grow. If you see over here we have some that's not cut yet. You can see how it all grows together. Here's the red clover and the red clover blossoms growing real thick in with the grasses. This is orchard grass, fescue. So the grasses and the legumes form a perfect food for cows and horses. And there's a lot of herbs too in different places. You'll notice probably about 50 different plants that grow naturally in the meadows. Here's some dandelion. So these are all, anything that grows here, the cows really love. And it gives them a very rich diet full of all the nutrients they need. So we really like the natural way. So it's so good to see this field looking lush and green. It was getting a little depleted, and last year we got able to put some manure on it. And now it's looking so, the clover's coming in, the ground is fertile. I see the worms have been working. It's really got everything stimulated, and it's making such a difference. This is looks so healthy and so vital. These are the worm castings. These are when worms, you tell worms are in the soil because they come up, and this is soil that the worms have digested, and it's a wonderful fertilizer. So good for the plants and the earth. And of course, that's the reason we don't use commercial fertilizer, because that can actually kill the worms, and we don't like to kill the worms. We love worms. It looks like a really fertile soil. It's really deep, a lot of organic matter, a lot of, it's a very friable soil, airy, and the darkness of all the organic matter. It looks like it would really grow good crops. There's some depth to it. There's a nice layer of humus on top, which is the real life. The life of the earth basically is in this top half inch of soil. Is really where all the earth's life comes from. So it looks like very good soil. Good rich humus, like we like to see. You smell? It's a very earthy smell. smells alive. It smells clean. It smells rich. Suppose we could even taste it. He's pretty good. Here is our epistle. And you'll notice that down here we have little reservoirs, little ponds where the fairies come by and they get their drinks of water when they're out here cavorting. Another one. This is good enough to drink. It's wonderful fresh water. This, Antonio, is an ant hill. A very huge ant hill. You notice all the little red ants that live there, tiny little buggers. See them scurrying around a little bit, fixing the hole I made. But all of this went through their bodies, all of this clay. Incredible.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like sand. This is beautiful. It smells really good. Oh, there's a little friend there too. And the monarch butterflies really like it too. It's growing, a bit of it's growing in the fallow area. Good thing about fallow land. It's great for wildlife. I think it's poisonous. That's why monarch butterflies feed on it, because it makes them poisonous. It makes them toxic, so that predators don't eat them. Pretty smart, huh? Yeah, it's a wonderful resource. Not something I like to just sell or give away, or we really enjoy the trees and love the trees for what they are as much as for their raw material value. And so it's just nice. It's nice to have a good place to come sit. It's very peaceful here. So yeah, there wasn't really too much local support at that time, but that didn't dissuade us. We knew what we had to do or what we wanted to do, and we knew that it would work because the earth has been working for many millennia, and without humans' input. Thank you. You know, one thing that really is sticks in my mind was when we hired a local farmer to plant our corn for us, and he would spray chemicals on the fields when he planted. It was a one-pass thing. You just went through and planted and sprayed, and you were done till harvest. And I was on one corner of the field, and he was on the other corner, about half a mile away. And as soon as he started spraying, I had to run for cover because it was so toxic. It was so awful. So I think that really brought it home, you know, what we were doing, and that it wasn't good, and it wasn't necessary, and it wasn't good for the earth, and it wasn't good for the farmers, and it wasn't good for the people, and it was just such a shock, you know, to my system, because most people have no clue. You know, we say, well, yeah, they just spray some chemicals, and they're like, oh, okay. But when you're in it, when you smell it, when you take it into your body, and it's like, oh, this is not good. And then, you know, you just really know Mostly it was in the smell. Yeah, it was just like, it's just the breath, the air was just all of a sudden toxic. You know, it was just God. And because here you are out in this pristine wilderness next to the river, and it's just so beautiful and gorgeous, and it's just like Eden, and all of a sudden the air is just poisonous, and it's just such a shock to realize that that's what you're doing. You know, that's what you're doing to the earth and to your body, and everybody should experience that. I realized pretty quickly that it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I actually saw the fields just didn't look like they should. They didn't look good. The corn didn't look good. It just, things were not growing like they were supposed to. Things were depleted. When Keziah was born, we thought that it wasn't a good thing to have poisons and chemicals around children, and I didn't want to be around them, so we stopped. And Dad, I was farming with Dad at the time, and he was a little bit hesitant, but he didn't particularly like chemicals either, and so we went for it, and it's worked perfectly ever since. There's certain things that just don't go together, you know. Feeling like you're in Eden and this air that you can't breathe is just, it just doesn't work. There's something wrong, and so that was when I decided what was wrong and decided that we could change it.
Okay, now can you bring levity into the subject? And
I don't know. Yeah. You know, this is a great... This is one of the things, this isn't funny, but this is one of the important things that, you know, when people wonder about buying organic or unsprayed food, and they wonder, well, gee, does it really matter that much to me? You know, there's probably not that much on the... and I can wash it off. And whether you can or can't, you know, I think it's one of the most important parts is the farmer or the farm worker, you know, that through what we're eating, you know, we're killing this person or exposing him to all these toxins, you know, much more than we would ever be exposed to. And that, of course, being a farmer, that sort of comes home to me that, gee, that's not a good thing. I like farmers. I don't want to kill them because I have to eat. You know, that doesn't make sense. But that's not funny either. But there was something, the fellow who was spraying the corn for us, who was planting and spraying the corn, Walt Ricker, he's a great farmer. And he, after he planted that field, he came over and he's like, "Oh, whoa, Marty, what kind of stuff was that you gave me to spray on there? Ramrod or something like that? Whoo, that was about the worst stuff I ever came across." And you know, and so here, for just to, you know, we had exposed him to all these chemicals and you know, for the hours that he took planting, and thankfully he still seems to be healthy and he still seems to be doing well, but you know, it's a scary thing. This is one of the first greens that come out in the spring. It's a relative of broccoli and mustard, and it's wonderful for the spring tonic. It's bitter and strong, and anti-carcinogenic. It cleans out the liver. So when people live off the land, that's what you do. You come out and harvest these early wild greens, and you're so thankful. that the earth is coming forth once again. Take care of us. Okay, put this in a little bit. Got that. And we can put this in a little bit. Yeah. If our parasites were doing the job, and you know, because obviously the flies, there's a maggot, the flies reproduce in the manure, and we try to have enough parasites out so that they can't reproduce, and it's the idea, and it seems like it's pretty clean. I don't see much, any maggots, any growth, so we're good. Looks really dwarfed, stunted. Not sure about, maybe a moisture thing, but they're going to be little, but that doesn't mean they won't be good. Sometimes actually less moisture means less fungus, and they might be even better than normal. Small but tasty. Now this is another compost pile I made last winter. I work it a little bit this summer. It should be ready for spreading on the fields in the fall. It'll break down over the summer and be perfect fertilizer for next year. This is a black locust. This is a great tree. It's also a legume. It fixes nitrogen to the soil. Such wonderful flowers. They smell good. And obviously the bumblebees like them pretty good.
I can't see any. I hear them. I can hear them. That's them humming?
Yeah, they're humming. It's a humming tree. Wow.
So we're moving them where?
We're going to move them to the other side. Right down the other side of the hill.
Oh, way down there, huh?
Oh, right there.
Oh, right there. All right, great. So where are you going to let them out?
Right down there by the water.
Okay, so can I maybe help by standing in the right place?
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on. Just watch out for the baby. Look out for the baby. Okay then. Come on then. Yes.
What's his name again, Marty?
Minnesink.
Minnesink. Minnesink's a beauty. Is this her cow right here? Her calf?
Yeah.
That calf came out last night?
Yeah. Oh, this morning. Wet.
Oh, cute. You were right about swampy.